All right, so let's go and let's go over how to buy the dips at the right time. Okay, so let's go over how market structure works. And this is going to be primarily for cryptocurrency and stocks, since the goal of them is for people to invest their money. Okay, and then their money, inshallah, will go up over time. Okay, by holding that investment. Okay, so let's go and let's go over how the stock market and crypto markets work. So by owning a share, you're going to go ahead and buy a piece of the company. Okay, so whenever the stock, okay, you can go ahead and see the current price over here to the right, or even these numbers here on TradingView, okay, or whatever broker you're on. Wherever the current price is, it'll go up as long as the company is beating earnings, okay, beating company earnings down below, which means that the company is profitable. Okay, if you see these earnings being beat consistently over and over again, and the company paying out dividends, then you know the company is going to be making good money. Okay, ideally, we want to be playing companies that are making money or investing in crypto that are going to be generating good utility, aka has a lot of money flowing into it. So since this is a left to right chart, okay, we can depict that the goal of the chart over time is to just go in an upwards direction, okay? And buying at the right time and buying the dip is going to be absolutely imperative, okay? It's going to be two different ways to buy the dip for stocks and crypto, but they're pretty much going to be very, very similar. So let's talk about the stocks example here, okay? So for stocks, okay, so you can actually find key pullback levels very, very easily on stocks. And this is because that stocks has a little trick that you can use. It's called the 9:30 trick. Okay. So the stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. So market opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So this means that market bell rings, okay, Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, okay, and closes at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. So whenever 9:30 comes, the most people are going to be online. Okay, this is going to congest between New York and your obsession. Okay, so it's going to be the most people trading around this time from 9:30 a.m. Eastern time to 11 a.m. Okay, which is around when EU session decides to end. Okay, so 9:30 a.m. Eastern time and 11 a.m. Eastern time are going to be extremely, extremely important times. Okay, 11 a.m. Eastern time, the European session ends. Okay, and you might see some volume slow down. Okay, but at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, stock market's going to open. That's when options traders can play. Okay, that's when everyone can play. That's when you can trade and sell shares, and depending on whatever you're trading, that's just when everyone can trade. Okay, starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So now that we know that, okay, we can go ahead and go to indicators at the very top. Okay, I like to personally use the indicator called market open marker. Okay, and we can go ahead and abuse this 9:30 trick. So make sure we're using our higher time frames. Time frames are going to go ahead and depict and show us what time these candles are showing us. So if I'm on the daily, each one of these candlesticks will be showing me 1 day worth of price action. If I'm on the 4 hour, each one of the candlesticks will show me 4 hours worth of price action. Okay. So let me go ahead and show you guys what's up here. So let's go and let's do it. So here's how to find pullback levels. Okay, and let's talk about what a pullback even is. Okay, so a pullback is going to be, instead of buying price when it's going in an upwards direction, which you can if you're trading break and retest. Okay, you want to be trying to buy the dips. Okay, you want to be trying to catch the bottom of the sweep. Okay, so then you can go ahead and catch the whole trade back up in an upwards direction. So here's how to catch the bottom or predict certain bottoms. Okay, so what I like to do is turn on the indicator market open marker. Okay, and I know I just said go on our higher time frames, but this is going to be just for stocks. Okay, my 15-minute time frame, 5-minute, and even the 30-minute time frame are going to be important because I'm going to need to see the times where market opened, and I want to see the candles. So what I'm going to do is go to my 15-minute, make sure the market open indicator is on. Okay, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is look below and look at the areas where market decided to open. Okay, so I can clearly see right here, market decided to open right here. Okay, so I can go ahead and mark an area of support right here. Okay, why? Because this is a 9:30 area where price decided to bounce upward. So most any areas I see with 9:30 in price action, it's going to be pretty important. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at 9:30 reactions below current price. Okay, why? Because I want price to pull back to these areas and try and give me a bounce up. Okay, so I'm going to keep looking below. I'm going to keep marking 930 areas of support and resistance. Okay, so check it. Have this 930 area down here. Okay, price decided to head in a downwards direction, and in order to see what type of trade you're taking, just see what direction the trade went into afterward. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that there. All right, we have some 930s resistance right here. Okay, and this is resistance because why? Price is showing us that it wants to sell here. Sellers are stepping in, and then price is heading in a downwards direction. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and be an area of resistance here. Okay, so cool. So now let me go ahead and go to my 5-minute here. And I can go ahead and see here on my 5-minute, price decided to go ahead and kind of burst from this area right here too. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a candlestick line at underneath this area right here where price decided to burst up. I like to go to my 1-minute sometimes too, just to verify the levels that I'm looking at. Okay, just to make sure I have the right candlestick and I'm not just putting down anything. So right here, I can clearly see on the 1-minute that the answer is actually down here. Okay, so the 1-minute and the 5-minute time frame are going to give you the closest answers. Okay, so start off on the 1-minute, go as many candlesticks as you can back. So I can go ahead and check this out here. Look at this area of support right here. Boom. Okay, now let me go to my 5-minute time frame. Okay, so I have these two areas here below that are showing me that price wants to potentially give me a pullback at these areas. Okay, so let me go ahead and check this out here too. So even right here, this is going to be a pullback level right here. This area of support. And then price decided to go back up. Okay, and then went down. So this is going to be a key level too. Go to my 5-minute time frame. Once again, this is going to be really important for stocks. And guess what? I also have another 930 level reacting over here. When you start seeing multiple 930 taps react on the same level, you know you're in the green. Okay, so I have another 930 level here. I have a 930 level here. Okay, and then we have another 930 level right here, down here. Okay. And then we're gonna keep going, keep looking for just certain examples. Okay, even right here. Support area right here. And then price decided to go up in an upwards direction. Okay. So it's super duper cool. Okay. You just find your areas that are 930 support or resistance below current price. Okay. Go from a 1-minute to your 5-minute to the 15-minute. Okay. And find these clean areas where you're seeing these reactions work out. Okay. I also see a 930 resistance right here. Okay. Have some more 930 resistance up here. Okay. So it just depends wherever you're looking at, honestly. Okay. Okay, so these are all going to be pullback levels. Once again, the more 930 taps, okay, 930 tap, 930 tap, more 930 taps you have in the same direction, the more you're going to be in the green. And guess what? Even another 930 tap over here too. Okay, so the more 930 taps, the better. Okay, and we also have a pullback level right here too. I'll put a line at this right here. Okay, so I'm looking at 930 levels that are going to be below current price. And a lot of times these are going to be solid levels where price wants to pull back to. So after all these levels are drawn, right? Now I just want price to come back to these levels. Okay, so I can see that price wants to hold near this area right here. Okay, so let's see if price wants to come back down to any of these black lines and give me a pullback. Okay, so now what I like to do is go to my 4-hour time frame after I just drew all the zones. Okay, and I'm going to wait for price to see if it wants to give me a close past any of these areas. If it doesn't want to bounce here, we'll see if it wants to bounce here. If it doesn't want to bounce here, we'll see if it wants to bounce here. Okay, any of these pullback lines, we'll be able to see where price decides to pull back to. Okay, so you're going to be looking at areas of resistances and supports that are heavy below current price. And on the stock market, you can use the 930 AM trick. okay, to go ahead and depict where high volume levels are at. Okay, let's go and let's do another example here for Apple for a sec. Okay, so if I'm starting a chart or starting a trade, I like to go to my daily time frame first. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the global broad overview picture of everything. Okay, let me get the picture of everything so I can see that price clearly wants to try to smack this resistance up here. Okay, after that, we can try to go for a breakout, try and continue to maybe this resistance, and then potentially all-time highs. Okay, so I'll go to my 15-minute time frame, turn on the market open maker, and let me look below current price. Okay, I'm gonna look below current price at these levels that are making sense. Okay, so let me go ahead and put a line down here, this 930 support right here where price decided to go in an upwards direction. Okay, then we also have a little reaction right here too. Once again, if it helps at first, you can also start off on your 1-minute time frame just so you can see everything in a little more exact time frame and a little more exact fashion. Okay, so I can see the support 1 minute right here. I can go ahead and check it out down here. Okay. Right here, price resistance got created, and then price decided to start going up. Yeah. And honestly, it could be a support candle here. Okay. And then we're gonna go into my 5-minute time frame. Okay. And I can see that these areas are reacting within similar spots. Okay, so check it out. I have another reaction right here. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking to my left. Okay, keep looking to my left, keep studying these reactions. I'm gonna be looking for the best areas. Okay, so even right here, this 5-minute area of support is gonna go ahead and be good too. And guess what? I have another reaction right here at this 930 support. Okay, so as you go to the left, if you start seeing more and more reactions, the more reactions that you see on the same line, the better it's gonna be. Okay. So if you see a 4-hour close near these areas, then you know that price potentially wants to go ahead and definitely try and spike up. Okay. So here's another zone right here. Okay. So this whole area right here, this whole 22.6 area is a whole zone kind of in itself. Okay. And I can definitely see price potentially trying to pull back to maybe these areas. Then we even have this resistance all the way up here at 230. Okay, and all I'm doing is just looking at these 930 levels. That's all I'm focusing on. 930 levels. And I'm just gonna be waiting for price to pull back. After this, I'm gonna check out current price and see if any of these correlate. Okay. So here's another level up here too. Okay. And then even right here. Okay. All right. And a lot of the times, let me go ahead and see if there's any other areas. Okay, we have another area right here. Okay. And a lot of the times we're going to wait for price to just pull back to these 930 areas of support or resistance that we found. And then let's just wait for price to give us a bounce off of these areas. Okay. So let me go back to current price. Okay. And then I can go ahead and just zoom out, go back to my 4-hour time frame. Okay. And now that I went on my smaller time frame and do all the levels, okay, I'm going to wait for price to pull back to one of these levels. Okay. And if I get a close at any of these levels, then inshallah, I know I'm going to be able to go ahead and buy and catch the whole sweep back up. Okay. So instead of shorting, you could just wait for pullback areas too. Okay. And stocks, it's going to consist of checking out the 930 levels. And these are going to be the highest probability levels where price is going to pull back. Look for resistances below current price and supports below current price. Okay. And let's go over the crypto example. Okay. So for the crypto example, all right, so let's go and let's jump into the crypto section. So starting off with the crypto section here, we're definitely going to be still using our higher time frames. So the crypto section, you can really just stick to your daily and 4-hour time frame. Okay, you don't really need more than that. These are going to be the 2 best time frames for crypto, in my opinion. Okay, your daily is going to give you your broad overview of everything on the chart, and your 4-hour is going to help you identify certain pullbacks. So we know that charts cannot go in an upwards direction, okay, unless resistances are being broken, okay? Resistances have to be broken in order for price to go in upwards direction. So check it. If we have resistance above current price, okay, then we know that price is going to try to meet up with the resistances and break it, inshallah. Okay, so let's see if we have any pullback levels we can identify. So I can start off on my daily, see the broad view of everything, okay, make sure I can see the point of why price wants to go up, okay, then I'm going to go to my 4-hour time frame, okay. So I know that price wants to try to reach the resistance, so let me wait for price to bottom out at a certain area, see if I can catch some retest below current price, or if price wants to repeat and support, okay. So I can go ahead and see that this area of resistance was created right here on the 4-hour, okay. Price decided to break above it, and resistance got turned into support, okay. So whenever we see resistance get broken, turn into support, this is going to be an S plus stack mode model, okay. It's going to be extremely profitable to take those trades and safe, especially when you see this here, okay, especially when you see a 4-hour close, okay. What a 4-hour close is pretty much just going to be an area where price decides to close the candlestick, okay. So all these past candlesticks that we're getting this information from are all closed candlesticks. If you get a closed candlestick above your zone from a pullback, then you know that price, inshallah, wants to go ahead and try to bounce in an upwards direction, okay. So I can see the resistance got broken, and then price decided to go all the way up, pull all the way back down to it, give us a close, okay. So we never really want to buy on the first candlestick that pulls up. We want to wait for a 4-hour close. Okay, we want to see if the price really wants to hold this area as support, and if so, we're going to go ahead and get in, okay? And then you go ahead and make or take profit the highs, and yeah, and you can go ahead and take your trade based off of that. So just study break and retest on the daily and the 4-hour, and that's really going to depict the type of trades that you're taking. Okay, so on crypto as well too, you can't really do the 9:30 a.m. trick. So, but a lot of the times the levels are a lot more simple. Okay. And if you don't get the entry right as soon as price hits it, that's actually better. See if price wants to confirm the entry and then go ahead and get in. Okay, let's go over another example here as far as XRP. Okay. So we got XRP here. Okay. So check it. So price decided to bounce at this area of support right here. Okay. And guess what? It did it multiple times. So price will either pull back to an area of resistance below current price and try to bounce up. Okay. Say maybe like this area of resistance, for example. Okay. It'll try and go back down to an area of resistance and turn it into support. Or sometimes it'll literally just go down back to an area of support. Okay. Such as right here. And then hold it. Okay. So if you see price go back down to the same area of support and hold it, even if it's a slight overshoot, but it's the same relative area, then you can assume that price wants to go ahead, potentially go in an upwards direction from that place. Okay. So for here, if I was playing a pullback here for XRP, I would try and buy either at this area of resistance right here. Okay. And I like to look for previous break and retest levels. Okay, so if I see some previous break and retest near like right here, then I'm going to go ahead and take it. I can probably go to my 30-minute here and see some break and retest, and I actually do. Okay, so the 30-minute is going to be like the smallest time frame I'd go for a cryptocurrency. Okay, but I can go ahead and check here. Resistance, and this is what's going to be called the first welfare tap. Okay, if I see the first welfare tap or the first professional tap, I can assume we're going to get a second welfare tap. So check it out here. So I have this area of resistance being created right here. Okay, resistance got broken and turned into support right here. Okay, and then price trickled up in an upwards direction. Okay, so I can see that price did a pro retest entry. It's going to quickly break and then quickly retest. And as you can see, price has not come back down here since. Okay, after you see the first heavy retest level, a lot of the times, inshallah, price will come back down to the area and see if it wants to hold it as a true support level. Okay, so this is the last heavy place that price break and retested from before we shoot it all the way up to near all-time highs up here. Okay, so but Before that, we retested near this break and retest area right here, and price might go ahead and try and test it again. And if the support holds and give us a close, then inshallah, that's going to go ahead and be a nice area to go ahead and catch the sweep back up. Okay. So it's just about doing your thorough research, really checking the candlesticks, and seeing if something is going to be a good buy by just taking your time and studying the chart overall. Okay. Let's say I'm looking for, let's say Dogecoin, for example. Okay, let's do another example here. Okay. So even with Dogecoin, I can go ahead and check something out here. Okay. So I'm going to my daily time frame because that's what I like to go ahead and start with. Okay. And I can already kind of see something. Okay. I can already see that like this area of resistance, okay, this whole thing, okay, is being reacted upon. So this area of resistance over here is being acted as an area why price wants to turn it into support. Now let me go to my 4-hour time frame. So check it. So I can go ahead and see over here this area of resistance right here. Okay. Price got over it. It tried to break and retest right here, but ultimately it failed. Okay. So sometimes break and retest, it's not happening to volume, especially if something's already all-time highs. But guess what? Price decided to sweep all the way below it, and then we're getting a break and retest right now again. Okay, and a lot of times if you see trades mirror to your left, it'll most likely happen again. So if you see break and retest happening over here to the left, and then it's happening again, inshallah this time it'll go ahead and try and hold. Okay, a lot of the times the market is just going to mirror the same things over and over again, and it's just about who can analyze the charts. So here, Dogecoin, inshallah, would be a pretty good sweep to go ahead and take, since I do have a 4-hour close above the retest level, and it looks like that price wants to go ahead and fill in this V structure here. Okay, so catching the V structure, catching certain trades, it's going to be extremely easy. Okay, we just want to be disciplined. We want to be waiting for the setup to come to us. Okay, and identifying setups is really just going to take time. Okay, we want to be scouting out our daily time frame view, then check out the 4-hour view, and then check out the 30-minute view. Okay, make sure everything correlates on all time frames. If so, then inshallah, that's going to go ahead and be a successful trade that you can go ahead and take. Okay, so just focus on the right trades, focus on the right setups, and really just take your time. All right. So let's go over one more example here. Okay, because the more practice, the better. I like to just go through my stock screener. Okay, and I like to just go through and just choose certain pairs and just go through them and just study all day. Even if I don't take the trade, I like to just see if the trades are going to work out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check right here. We got BNB. Okay, so BNB is at all-time highs. When things are all-time highs, okay, which means that price has no structure above it, I don't really like to play it, because I personally like to try and catch sweeps when it comes to crypto and stocks. So if something's at all-time highs, okay, meaning there's not much structure above it or no sweep for me to really catch, I don't really play that. Okay, so when things are all-time highs, I would just leave it at that and try to find something else that has a dip to where you can go ahead and catch a sweep up. Okay, goal is trying to catch the sweep up. Okay, so EP got hit here on Solana. Okay, and then let's go and go to my 30-minute here. So even right here, price did the same thing. Okay, look at this here, strong area of resistance on Solana. Price decided to get above it, turn resistance into support. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and show me one probable area where price decided to retest that. Okay, so this is below current price, so price could potentially retest right here. Okay, go back to my 4-hour time frame, and let me go ahead and scout out any other things. I'm going to my daily, and I'm going to be looking for heavy, strong areas of resistance or support. Okay, and I'm going to want price to pull back to these areas. Okay, ideally too, when you just look for support areas, sometimes it'll go ahead and have strong areas of resistance left in it, because that's the reason why it's even there. Okay, take this area over here, for example. Okay, so these areas of support right here, okay, lines up with this area of resistance right here. Okay, so it really just depends on whatever you're looking at. okay, and how in depth you're looking too. Okay, even down here, I go and put my cursor at this area of support right here. Same thing, put a zone at this area of support, and then I'll go ahead and I'll put a zone at this area of support down here too. Okay. So I got some support right here. Got a support area right here. And then a support area right here and a support area right here. Okay. And then I have a resistance area right here. If I see price pull back to any of these areas, okay, and give me a 4-hour close, then I would feel confident and go ahead and take in the trade. Okay. I like to personally just wait for pullbacks. Okay. If price is already going up, I'm going to wait for price to pull back down and catch it back up. Okay. I'm not going to make it difficult for myself. I'm not going to make it hard. I'm just going to position myself for me to put on some good size and for me to be a profitable trader without much stress. Okay. So these are the pullbacks I'm going to be looking for, and pullbacks are really effective when it comes to the crypto and stock market, since the goal of them is to just go up and people want to buy and hold. Okay. All right. So that's going to go ahead and be that. StackMODE on it for all trading education. Love you guys so much. Peace.